Well, good evening and welcome to another edition of Truax's Trenches here at Mr. Bill's. Thank you all for being here. I'm Mark Young. That's Chris Truax. Happy to bring you all St. Louis football and a couple of other aspects tonight. We'll have Connor Lloyd on with baseball, and Rob Accord will be on a little later talking about basketball. But right now we're in the middle of winding down football season, so we're going to talk about football. So, Coach, last week Jennings Bulldogs were in town, and it was a very entertaining game. It was a very entertaining, real chippy game, but it was entertaining as well.
Mark, I tell you what, we've got to learn how to win a football game and quit knowing how to lose one. We were on top of them 24-14. We had the ball on the 7-yard line, and we proceeded to go backwards, and then we missed a field goal, and we kind of imploded. Defense went on the field, and 2 plays later, they're on the +5. On the 3rd play, they scored a touchdown. So there was 11 plays on Friday afternoon. We showed the guys there's an 11-play sequence that kind of dictated the outcome of that game right there. We're getting close. We're still trying to learn how to win.
Yeah.
But these guys are battling hard. I tell you, we have no excuses.
Well, yeah, and I thought it was a very hard-fought game, and of course, speed kills, doesn't it? They got some speed, right?
They've got a few, and number 19, one of the Ned brothers, got ejected from the game, and Coach Fusilier had a penalty caught on him, and I brought the team together, said, listen, they're cracking, they're in a situation they've never been in.
Right.
24-14, and like I said, we're fixing to go up 31-14, but we didn't. But they're a sign of a championship program that they've been. We're able to respond back and make the right plays where we didn't.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about those plays that sequence or the plays that you thought your team played really well in. What are some of the phases you thought you guys did really good to get y'all 24-14?
Yeah, the ball game started off, not in our favor. I mean, they went down. Their first drive, it looked like 3 plays, and they scored. And we didn't get our first down until the 4th series. And it's, interesting because even our first series, we call a screen on that 3rd down, and if the play is executed, Tracy's fixing to take it 80 yards or so for a touchdown, but we just didn't do it. We weren't in rhythm early. I don't think the kids were intimidated or a daunting opponent or anything like that. And that was my first time as a coach going against Jennings, and I wish I knew about their legacy and what all they've done. But our guys regrouped and went down and went toe to toe with them at halftime. I visited with the offense because I thought defense played extremely well.
Right.
At times we got the speed factor caught us a few times when they beat us on the perimeter. But as a whole, through the number 10 team in the state of Louisiana, we've got to feel really good about the direction we're with our football program.
Yeah, there were a lot of possessions. You mentioned you didn't get a first down, but that was still in the first quarter, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of penalties. I mean, we had 13 penalties; they had 16 penalties. And we had turned it over a little bit, and they did as well too. But
right.
we have to capitalize when our defense gives us a short field, and we're still learning how to win.
Yeah. Health-wise, how did the night pan out for you health-wise?
You know what? We're a little banged up. Richard Edwards, one of my starting offensive linemen, he's out again for this week, so hopefully we'll get him back for our playoff game. I think defensively we came out on top. We, had 3 new running backs this past week with Matthew Hebert and with Ty Willis and with Griffin Hanks, and they all 3 did an exceptional job for us.
Yeah, I know Ken had mentioned before the game it was going to be running back by committee that night, and it was. But there were some really hard runs by those guys.
Explosive runs, and just the attitude, and they brought some passion, some energy to that sideline, so it was good to see.
Yeah, it was good to see. So senior night, this coming Friday night, the 5A Houghton. What was their mascot? The Houghton.
They're the Buccaneers, and obviously from Houghton, Louisiana, and I've gotten to speak to Coach Sewell on the phone a few times. Quality guy. Obviously, it'll be the second time we've played. Last year, St. Louis had to go up to Houghton, and that's a long trip. I mean, those guys will leave at 11 a.m. out of Houghton. and they'll stop in Natchitoches, and we were talking about Lazions and Natchitoches. So those of you all who've been at Lazions and Natchitoches know it's a good spot to grab a little lunch, and they'll practice at Northwestern State, but arrive at Westlake at 4:30. So that's a long time for
Yeah.
a lot of young men right there for a 7 o'clock kickoff. But,
Yeah. Well, senior night, correct? We were just talking about that.
yeah. So senior night, I didn't realize. I just thought it was senior night for our football team.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's senior night for the cheerleaders and for the sweethearts, and I don't really know who else. But it's going to be a program.
So it's going to be starting around 3, 4 o'clock.
I guess so. I was told that we have to be cleared and ready for 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have our guys go out and support our seniors.
Yeah. How many seniors on the football team?
That's a great question. Anybody know that answer? 16. We have 16 seniors on our football team.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've all been major contributors to our football team, and it's been a short, relationship. We've got to know each other, and that trust been forming over this season, and they're part of the reason, of our success. I know it's been limited, but these guys really bring a lot to the table.
Yeah, yeah. It's always, seems like it always ends a little too soon. When you have as a parent or as a coach or as a player, it's always, you're just starting to understand it all. Starting to get there, yeah.
This is week 10 for us, and I was telling our staff that really kind of caught our breath in week 10 because we don't have any JV football. We don't have any middle school football. It's just kind of us. It was nice to kind of take our time on a Monday instead of trying to be in a hurry and load a bus and go play somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. So talk a little bit about Houghton. You mentioned they were a very good team, played a lot of 5A teams. Talk a little bit about what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, we were able to obviously watch them in their district. They've got an excellent district up there, and they're in Houghton. They play Captain Shreve. They play Evangel. They play Bird. The other schools that we got a chance to look at, Airline. It's just a great level of football, and they've been in ball games. They're scoring a lot of points. I mean, they lost to Captain Shreve this past weekend, 66-44, I believe.
Wow.
So their quarterback's a great operator. They're multiple on offense. Defensively, they're a 3-4 team. Don't play some man-free coverage and so forth. But they'll be well suited. It'll be a great matchup for Friday night.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How does it look like matching up? What's going to be an area that you guys are looking to think you might have the upper hand in?
Well, you know what? I don't know if we'll have the upper hand. I just feel like that we got to be prepared both offensively, defensively, and special teams wise. You can tell they're well coached. It's nice, to see a 5A program. When I call sometimes, I'm talking to their administrative assistant before I get to their head coach. I'm like, man, I'd like to have one of those.
Right.
Yeah. And so they're established. That staff has been together for over 5 years, and it shows the way they execute.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an exciting senior night. We'll be sorry to see the seniors go, but at the same time, you still have a couple. They'll have a game that night and then playoffs.
Yeah, we'll have a playoff, and I've already kind of looking at the 2026 roster, and we've got 48 guys coming back that have been starters or had a meaningful role with us.
Yeah.
So we're excited about the future of St. Louis football.
Well, very good, Coach Truax. We'll be back right after this with Connor Lloyd of baseball. Thank you.
Life changes fast. That's why at Bank FMBD, we keep banking simple, with real people to help when you need it, and easy tools you can use anytime. Wherever life takes you, Bank FMBD is there.
Professional Office Products. Call Jason Monte at Professional Office Products, your local Xerox dealer. Remember, don't upgrade your copier till you call them so they can show you the Xerox way. Caraway Chiropractic. Move better, feel better, live better. Contact us today to schedule your appointment. 337-439-9313 or at carawaychiropractic.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, proud sponsor of St. Louis Catholic football. Celebrating 25 years in business, we're here to help you with all of your mortgage needs, including new construction, down payment assistance programs, investment properties up to 8 units, and jumbo loans. Call your local mortgage expert, Keith Wimberly, at 310-HOME or visit swlahome.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, for your homegrown home loan.
All right, we're back. Connor Lloyd here on Truax's Trenches, and we're going to talk baseball. He and I were just getting acquainted a little bit, and Connor, thanks for being on here. Appreciate you being here, and it's always a pleasure. Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate having me.
So generally, whenever we get a new coach up here, I like to talk to them about their path. You know, how they got to where they are today at St. Louis. So talk a little bit about yourself. Talk a little bit about where you're from and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I grew up in Marshall, Texas. Went to Harleton High School, and my dad was a coach. He coached football, baseball. Was athletic director for a while. He put about 30 years of service in, and did a really good job. And he would always tell me, he goes, "Man, you're a smart kid. You don't need to go into coaching." But every day I would show up and I would see him, and he was having the time of his life. And so I enjoyed it. So from there I went to McNeese to play some baseball, and majored in kinesiology, got me a degree in education. And stayed on for a year as a volunteer assistant under Justin Hill.
Yeah.
And then from there took a job in Hugh Springs, Texas, coaching some junior high football, junior high basketball, and
Where's
JV
that
baseball.
located? Where's that at?
It's close to Marshall, Texas,
close to
about 30,
Marshall.
40 minutes away.
Okay.
Up in northeast Texas, kind of close to Texarkana, that
yeah.
kind of area.
Okay.
So yeah, I was there for a year. Got a call from Sam Moore at Sulphur High School, and he said, "Do you want to come coach with us?" And my wife, Katie, she's from Sulphur, and so I asked her if she wanted an opportunity to go back home. She said,
Did you even get the sentence finished before she said yes?
The one thing she said, "If we go back, we're never coming back to Texas. So I'm here for good. I'm here for good."
So you're now a transplant for good. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Well, so how the transition over to St. Louis come?
I was at Sulphur for 6 years,
Okay.
including the COVID year. Head coaching job came open, applied for it, didn't get it, and so I was called about this job. Said I'd be interested to know more. Somebody asked me if I wanted to come up here and talk about it, and I said, sure, I'll come take a look, and we can talk. Walked into an interview. Right. And so I tell people all the time I interviewed on accident, but one of the best things I ever did. So, but I fell in love with the place and was excited for the opportunity and love the relationships I've built here, and so it's been really cool.
So how long have you been the head coach at St. Louis?
This will be my third year.
Your third year.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about the program. Talk about last year and where y'all are at this year.
So last year we think we ended the year at 17-20, which might not seem good, but played one of the toughest schedules in the state. Regardless of classification, we were, as a coaching staff, we were kind of keeping track of it, and there was an opponent on our schedule in every state championship matchup. And so we had 4 state champions, 4 runner-ups, 8 semifinalists, 12 quarterfinalists. Everybody on our schedule was a good team.
Right.
And so we were battle tested going into the playoffs. Ran into a really good Catholic New Iberia team that ended up moving on to win the state championship.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
we took them 3 games, lost 2 one-run games, one of them in extra innings. And so to be that close to beating the eventual state champion really put things into perspective. And we got a lot of returners from that team, and so we're excited about this year.
Yeah, had to give the guys a lot of confidence coming back, and
Definitely.
probably were anxious to get it started again.
Definitely.
Yeah. So talk about those returning guys.
We got 15 seniors. A lot of them saw action last year, and then we got a good group of juniors, and the really good thing is we've got a good crop of young players, freshmen and sophomores that think they can keep pushing these juniors and seniors and say, hey, it's not just an upperclassman game. This is we're all saints here. And
So the challenge, the challenge of the young kids coming up now. I mean, things have changed a lot in baseball over the last, 15, 20 years. There's not as many, a lot of travel ball things. A lot of the guys, there's not. feeder schools don't always mean anything anymore, that kind of
Right.
thing. So talk a little bit about, how you're attracting guys to the program.
Man, just trying to put a winning product out there on the field, and
yeah.
and trying to present ourselves in a first-class manner, and that whenever people see St. Louis baseball play on the baseball field, they're going to say, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And whenever they see our kids out in public doing the right thing, and when they see our guys, serving in the community, they say, that's what we want to be a part of.
What, some highlights on the schedule this year? What are some big games that you're looking forward to? Do people kind of need to circle on the calendar?
I know we open up the first weekend with a 3-game series with Iowa. They're always a talented team. DeQuincy is opening night. We'll be at their place, but
Yeah.
they're always a solid team too. They've got some good returners coming back. Of course, the Barb game. That will be at their place this year, and so that's always a good one. I know St. Thomas More is a quality opponent.
Right.
And so, and then of course, we have some really talented district opponents in Westlake, Southbow, Jennings, and they always give us a run for their money, and we always get their best. And so those are some exciting games, especially towards the end of the year.
Well, talked about some of the players coming back, some of the guys you're going to lean on this year, some of those seniors you were talking about.
I know Trace Morrow was he was our number 1 on the mound last year. Was a go-to guy. Gave us a lot of quality starts. Turns out he's a football player too. Who knew?
Are you going to the football games any? Do you go to the football games?
I try. I do have
do
2
you
young
hold,
pups.
Do
at
you
home.
hold your breath every time that Trace gets?
Oh, certainly.
Gets in open field, or
Yeah.
they called his number. Yeah.
Oh, certainly. So, but at the same time, he's a competitor.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you couldn't stop him. That's one thing I'll say about this team, and not just the program, but this year's team is they love to win and they hate to lose,
Right.
and that brings a lot of passion.
Yeah, sometimes
And,
the hating to lose is more important than the liking to win.
yeah, certainly,
Yeah.
certainly.
So who else do you have? Who else do you have on this team coming back?
I know Connor Boudreau. He led our team offensively last year. Ate up a lot of innings on the mound. Jack Garcia was a good arm for us last year. Played a really good defensive first base. Asa Listy caught almost 200 innings last year.
Wow.
Did a solid job back there. I could go on and on.
Yeah, well, no, that's good. That's good. We always want to make sure we get, some of these guys noticed and give some shout outs. And so we can kind of, when they're on the baseball field, they're easier to recognize than when they're on the football field with those helmets on.
That's right.
So, yeah, so
That's
it's
right.
a lot, it's nice to know that some of these guys are dual sport athletes.
Yeah.
Because I think that just it rounds you out competitively.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Well, who do you have helping you coaching wise? Who assistant coaches?
Yes, sir. So I got, of course, Coach Ken Ortega right here. He handles a lot of the behind-the-scenes operations and things like that. Coach Guy Simmons, he works with pitchers, catchers. He was a head coach in college for a number of years. He's got 40 years of experience, and he definitely has a wealth of knowledge. We got Ross Rowland as our pitching coach.
Okay.
He's actually in volleyball right now, so he'll be competing for state championship over the next couple weeks. But he does a great job with our pitchers, managing them, managing the workloads, calling pitches, all those things. And we got Brooks Habits, does a lot with the JV. And then a new addition this year is Davis Mesh, who's a familiar face at McNeese, played at Barb in high school. But a great player, has an unbelievable connection with the players, and is just an elite competitor.
Yeah.
He was as a player, and it's showing that he's continued that as a coach.
Yeah, I know Davis well. We are my boy and he grew up together playing ball together. So
Okay.
yeah, I know him well. And Coach Simmons, I remember him from his Westlake days.
That's
back
right.
in the day.
Won a state championship at
Yeah,
Westlake.
absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck. We appreciate you being on. Connor Lloyd, everybody, head baseball coach of St. Louis.
So, thank you for having me.
Good job, man.
Appreciate it.
Life changes fast. That's why at Bank FMBD, we keep banking simple, with real people to help when you need it, and easy tools you can use anytime. Wherever life takes you, Bank FMBD is there.
Professional office products. Call Jason Monte at Professional Office Products, your local Xerox dealer. Remember, don't upgrade your copier till you call them so they can show you the Xerox way. Caraway Chiropractic. Move better, feel better, live better. Contact us today to schedule your appointment. 337-439-9313 or at carawaychiropractic.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, proud sponsor of St. Louis Catholic football. Celebrating 25 years in business, we're here to help you with all of your mortgage needs, including new construction, down payment assistance programs, investment properties up to 8 units, and jumbo loans. Call your local mortgage expert, Keith Wimberly, at 310-HOME or visit swlahome.com. Louisiana Mortgage Associates, for your homegrown home loan.
Welcome back. We are in segment 3 of Truax's Trenches. Coach Rob Accord with us to talk about a variety of things, and we'll start with some of the athletic stuff. Right now it's football. We had Coach Truax. Now we can talk about volleyball playoffs, volleyball. How St. Louis volleyball is doing. What the word is on volleyball.
Yeah, we had a coaches meeting today, and I felt like the agenda was starting to mingle together quite a bit because we're coming into the end of football. We're talking about senior night. I know Coach was talking about that. We got volleyball playoffs starting tomorrow. They're going to play Booker T. Washington. They earned the 9 seed, so they'll play Booker T. Washington at home, 4:30 in the Pavilion. And then if we can win that, looks like we would go to Lutcher. Lutcher's the 8 seed, so we'd make the long trip to Lutcher. And then we'd get the fortunate, if we could get the quarterfinals, we would get the number 1. I think they're 32-1, St. Michael. So, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. But let's take one at a time. Everybody knows we're headed to the playoffs. So you got to win one at a time. Let's not look too far ahead. So, like I said, that's volleyball. I'll kind of bounce around a little bit. Senior night. Coach and I started plotting a little bit. I think he's plotting a little more than I am because I think there's a lot of scenarios that could play out. But football headed to the playoffs. I'll jump around. I think tomorrow we also got district swimming, and then next week will be state swimming or regional swimming, and then state swimming. So we got that going on. Along with Thursday, we got district cross country. So all the winter sports are starting to wrap up. Fall sports are starting to wrap up, and winter sports are starting to begin. So it's all that kind of intermingling and meshing right now all over the place.
Yeah, and it's usually the spring that's crazy, but apparently fall is getting that crazy too. So, okay, you mentioned volleyball tomorrow.
Yep.
At
along with swimming tomorrow over in Lafayette.
In Lafayette,
so,
okay.
Yep.
All right, and so in cross country will be
Thursday. Will be cross country regionals.
That
will be up in Shreveport. That'll be up in Shreveport, and then Friday, obviously football at home, and then if volleyball could win, it looks like their game would be on Friday over in Lutcher. So busy week.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about basketball coming up because you do have that hat to wear as well, right?
Yeah, it's again all that intermingling's going on. Actually, we're going to play. We're going to get a real battle test on Saturday. You're very familiar with the basketball world, so we'll go play in the Hall of Fame game, which is it's a free game in the game of basketball, and we'll go over to Zachary and play Madison Prep. So I know you know what that's probably going to feel like, but I think 12 or so state championships, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah,
so.
They've always been a powerhouse. So, talk a little bit about your team this year. Talk about what besides that. The schedule, what it looks like, how many guys you have back, what the expectations are.
We have very high expectations. Everybody in our community knows we have no less of an expectation, but we had a big man in the middle that is no longer with us. Different world of high school sports. He's a great kid, but he moved on to a prep school in Tennessee. We would like to say we're very talented. We have a great mix of young and old. We will return 4 seniors we have 5 total seniors. 4 of them had significant playing time, along with a nice balance of juniors, including our only all-district player last year, Braden Francis. He was a second team. He's a junior. And then we had 2 freshmen that were very, very talented last year and started about 15 to 17 games each. They're a year older, mature. I know you've talked to Coach Bryan, I think, at one point on Truax Trenches. The strength and conditioning program, that's where our biggest kind of growth has been. But I'd like to say we're 10 deep. We can really score the ball, so ultimately our focus has been since October, really dialed up the defense. We've been really defensive focused. Coach Melanson, I know you know him from the Iowa years or wherever it may be, has brought a level of intensity and toughness that we have not seen in a while. We'll see how that translates. So far in a couple scrimmages, it's translated well, but we also haven't been playing Madison Prep. So
Right.
the schedule, incredibly difficult, have to admit. Again, planning a little different from the makeup of the team over the summer. That's when we start making the schedule. It doesn't change what the standard and the expectation is. But it is very difficult. We are going, we're playing Madison Prep. We open with 16-time state champion Peabody up at the Tioga tournament. That'll be another, incredible test. We're going to play Zachary at home. We're going to the St. Thomas More tournament, Sunkiss tournament, been around for 55 years and one of the premier tournaments. Very, very difficult schedule, but that's all to prepare us in the long run to hopefully battle the Country Days, the Calvary Baptists. Dunham's very talented this year. Lafayette Renaissance is talented. We'd like to be in those top 4 or 5 as the ultimate goal and see where we kind of go from there.
What you mentioned, scoring is the thing. So is that one of the things that you expect you to be able to do up tempo to be able to score a bunch?
Yeah, we are with the depth. Again, that's what we've hung our hat on since the summer. Again, thinking we're 10 deep. I will ultimately say you better have your track shoes on when you're going to play us. We've got the second group's awfully small, but they are awfully quick and cause some havoc on defense. We'll mix it up on defense. That's always been my forte for 14 years, kind of mixing the defense up. But that second group, like to say we're going to pick you up constantly, but it's going to be a pretty consistent defensive pressure from both groups and see if we can wear, you've been around the game long enough to know that depth in high school basketball is a huge, huge attribute. If you can cause 32 minutes of havoc, usually works in your favor. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and you talk a little bit about your games, because I think we mentioned the last time you were here about where you're practicing and where the home games are going to be.
Yeah, so we play at Raynaud Middle School. We are very fortunate, and thanks to CPSB, have been very generous with all of our facilities. But we play at Raynaud Middle School. That's the listen. Everybody that goes in there, there's still some banners from the 80s still hanging in there. I know people go in there and want to talk about the Lawrence brothers, and I love hearing all the stories. There's some old trophies still in there that people like to talk about. I think it's brought back some nostalgia back from this area, and we've had people come to our games that just say, hey, I haven't seen this gym in 30 years. But listen, CPSB's done an incredible job. It was damaged by the hurricane, put down a new floor, kind of fixed up the bleachers. It doesn't get used by anyone but us, and we're fortunate to have it. We really are. It's a very nice facility for as old as it is, and we treat it like our own. But we're just thankful to have a gym, and not my first year here. We had 7 different places as home games, including the Legacy Center. Hamilton, bounced all over the place.
Right. And so you guys are getting to practice there as well, as the girls are getting to practice there as well.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, one of the biggest things, I know some of our guys are here. Connor Boudreaux, I think, is running around here somewhere. He leads the charge. They like it because one side's a stage, and they can stand behind the bench, and they sometimes want to coach along with me. So, but they can lean over the bench and want to talk. But Connor Boudreaux is definitely the leader of that. So I need him to keep that same energy up for this year.
Well, very good. Well, we appreciate you coming in, and we appreciate you talking about all the fall sports as well as talking about basketball. And wanted to follow this final note. Tailgate for the senior night, Friday night, tailgate will be at 5 o'clock. I guess that's on the west side stadium right there.
Yep.
So that'll happen at 5 o'clock. I guess senior night will be right after that. And then Saints will take on Houghton at 7 p.m. So encourage everybody to come out in St. Nation, to come out to the tailgate party, and then catch volleyball when they can, catch cross country, and then catch swimming and if they can, and
everything.
okay, just be a Saint fan all around the block. So we appreciate you coming in, Coach, and we thank you again one more time for tuning in to Truax's Trenches. We are here at Mr. Bill's, and want to thank Upscale Productions for this, and thank all of you for tuning in. We appreciate you.